sky hadn't even lightened when the first gunshots cracked through a quiet block in Pompano Beach. Moments later, an explosion ripped through the silence. An SUV turned into a furnace, ash rising like dark snow. When firefighters pried open the scorched shell, there was no ID, no phone, no wallet. Only a burned body in the back seat and a gas can resting on the pavement. Nothing about the scene felt chaotic. It was surgical, meant to erase fingerprints, to erase DNA, to erase the line between what could be proved and what could only be whispered. Hours later, the name behind the smoke spread through phones and feeds. Florida rapper 26 Ceejay, born Javion Ross, shot first, burned next. Whoever did this wanted him gone completely. This wasn't random. It was personal. If this was random, there'd be no gas can. If it was accidental, there wouldn't be precision. What happened to 26 Ceejay was meant to make a statement. It said, don't ask, don't look, don't remember. And what makes this story so devastating is that it wasn't done to someone chasing trouble. It was done to someone fighting to rise above it. A man trying to rebuild, caught in the machinery of an industry that glamorizes survival, but rarely protects those living it. Before we break this down, I want you to picture something. It's early morning, and the sound that pulls you from sleep isn't an alarm. It's gunfire. You smell smoke creeping into the cracks. What do? Freeze and watch, or rush toward it. Either choice reveals something deeper. How exposure to violence rewires us, shaping whether we witness, intervene, or survive. Welcome to the Crime Anatomy, where we break down real cases layer by layer to expose how they were built, where they cracked, and why justice so often stalls. If you believe stories like this deserve light, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.
Duffel bag, put that on your head like a new hat. Ain't trying to brag, but I can get you whacked for a few racks. Been in the lab, so I ain't been having time to test these new scraps. But made me mad, and I'm gonna make some time to test a few scraps. Duffel bag, put that on your head. Ain't trying to brag, but I got lots of bread. Yeah, duffel bag, put that on your head. Ain't trying to brag, but I got.
Yeah, they really were scared by all of this. I want you to take a look, though, because since we last joined you an hour ago, you can see that burned out car is now on the bed of a tow truck that will now be taken away as evidence as investigators continue their investigation. A fire burning brightly early Tuesday morning, an SUV completely engulfed in flames. Inside, a person found dead, neighbors watching in horror. This man says he heard an explosion. When he looked outside, he saw the vehicle burning. The view from Sky 10 shows the aftermath, a charred white SUV heavily damaged. The foam used to put out the fire left behind.
Javion 26 Ceejay Ross was more than a name. He was a son and grandson, named after his father Cedric and his grandfather Nathaniel. Born June 3, 1997 in Albany, Georgia, he grew up in a middle-class family. Private school beginnings, creative energy, and a restless streak that kept him pushing boundaries. He was expelled once, moved to Florida, and finished high school there. The tension between structure and risk defined his path, half grounded, half drawn toward heat. Friends remember him as creative early on, writing lyrics in 6th grade, producing beats, filming his first music video in 2014, using his own money from side hustles. It wasn't shy art. It was raw, coated in guns, cash, and attitude. The visuals sold an image and warned of the price. That tension, performance versus danger, stayed with him. Between 2016 and 2020, he served time. Prison changes everything. It turns words heavier and ambition sharper. Inside, he connected with figures tied to Kodak Black sniper gang, including Wiz the Wizard. When he got out, he signed on, ready to record again. His delivery carried scars now, direct, specific, unfiltered. One of his early collaborations after release was Shooters with Wiz the Wizard, and momentum started to build. His 2022 mixtape, King Cobra, gained traction. Almost 100,000 views on YouTube, streaming success, and the kind of lyrical boldness that signals both confidence and warning. His lyrics started cutting closer to home. The project felt like a rival, but also like declaration. Then, the cracks began to show. The bond with Sniper Gang soured. Arguments about loyalty, money, respect. Rumors about betrayal. The same volatility Kodak was known for in public feuds began echoing through a circle. Social media became the arena. On Instagram, 26 Ceejay accused people from that orbit of disloyalty. He said he kept things real, while others hid behind screens. He promised to reveal truths through his music. His posts felt like two people speaking, the performer and the man. He wanted to control his story. But online narratives move fast and twist faster. Chain-snatching rumors, public jabs, blurred lines between performance and reality. He fought back, rejecting attempts to drag his name through digital mud. The noise wasn't contained to him. Florida's underground rap scene is dense, overlapping, and personal. Names like Wham Spinabens and Lil Cricks got mentioned in the same storm. Past grudges resurfaced. The death of Wiz the Wizard in 2021, still shrouded in mystery. Hung over everything like a ghost no one could silence. To fans, it began looking like a pattern. Betrayals answered with bullets. Respect earned through revenge. The message was clear: cross the wrong person, and it won't end online. It wasn't justice. It was intimidation dressed as culture. Then came the morning that ended everything. Neighbors in Pompano Beach heard the shots, then silence, then the blast. The fire burned long enough to destroy almost all physical evidence. When the flames died, a single body was left in the backseat. Detectives later confirmed what everyone feared. It was 26 Ceejay. He was shot first, then burned. 2 deaths in one act. The first to end, the second to erase. Investigators called it targeted. Witnesses saw someone running away after the gunfire. But fear keeps lips sealed. The facts that remain are few, but clear. The aftermath online looked like theater. Tributes filled timelines, but so did cryptic captions. Half mourning, half message. He got set on fire for playing with the wrong crew, some said. The grief was real, but so was the bravado. Others spun the tragedy into warning, turning loss into spectacle. The question of what authenticity means in rap culture reappeared. Where does truth end? And when does imitation become a death sentence? Those who knew him described 26 Ceejay as loyal, funny, full of energy, the kind of person who could turn a studio session into family dinner. His story wasn't just about feuds. It was about trying to build something solid in a world that doesn't always let you leave your past behind. He left behind notes reminding himself to restock groceries, signs of plans for tomorrow that would never come. The Broward Sheriff's Office followed every lead. They interviewed people tied to his circle. They looked into sniper gang links, cross-referencing digital footprints, messages, surveillance footage. But when evidence is burned, even technology can't always fill the gaps. Fire erases more than proof. It erases sequence, timing, texture. It kills the small things that tell the big story, and fear does the rest. In neighborhoods where retaliation is real, witnesses don't speak, they survive. The ones who know the truth also know the cost of telling it. As of late 2025, no arrests, no suspects publicly named. The case sits unsolved, buried under silence and smoke. So what really broke down here? First, fire itself, nature's oldest eraser. It doesn't just destroy evidence, it deletes opportunity. Second, culture, where violence is marketed as proof of authenticity, and young men are taught that survival means striking first. Third, fear, when silence becomes the language of survival. Fourth, structure, where algorithms feed conflict faster than justice can react. Fifth, the gap between dangerous and illegal, a gray zone where tension simmers until explodes. Let me ask you something. In your eyes, was this act meant more to send a message or to erase one? Drop your thoughts below. Your reasoning matters. It forces all of us to think about how violence is used to control what gets remembered and what gets buried.
A fire burning brightly early Tuesday morning, an SUV completely engulfed in flames. Inside, a person found dead, neighbors watching in horror. This man says he heard an explosion. When he looked outside, he saw the vehicle burning. The view from Sky 10 shows the aftermath, a charred white SUV heavily damaged. The foam used to put out the fire left behind after the firefight. Police taped off the area near Northwest 2nd Terrace and 32nd Court, right behind an apartment complex and adjacent to a canal.
At approximately 6:30 a.m. this morning, Pompano Beach Fire Rescue got a 911 call in reference to a car on fire.
A Pompano Beach spokesperson says a nearby dumpster was also on fire in addition to the SUV. Firefighters discovered the body in the back seat.
We know it's an adult.
The morning of 26 Ceejay's death plays back like a grim loop. Gunfire, pause, ignition. The flames ate not just a car, but the trail investigators would need to follow. The community woke up to smoke and silence, two things that rarely lie. Detectives called it targeted, deliberate. The investigation moved into the digital realm, scrolling through posts, threats, indirect callouts. The pattern looks familiar. A killing that's both message and cover-up. An open case that grows colder each day it isn't solved. But 26 Ceejay wasn't just another name in that cycle. He left behind music that was raw, unfiltered, and painfully honest. His project King Cobra now carries weight it was never meant to. The venom he rapped about became reality. Fans replay his tracks not for entertainment, but for clues, for closure. And while the culture keeps moving, stream counts, new releases, the people who loved him are stuck. Grieving doesn't trend. This case points to a bigger truth. You can't stop violence with visibility alone. You can't fix retaliation with a record deal. And you can't prevent death with online clout. And till the bridge between ego and accountability is built, the music industry will keep burying its talent under its own myths. Record labels and collectives must do more than market danger. They must manage it, build spaces for mediation, provide safety options, treat artist conflicts as risk management, not gossip. When someone says it's getting hot, act like it's life or death, because it is. Communities have roles too. Credible voices, people respected on the ground, can interrupt the slide toward violence. Anonymous tip lines keep fragile links open. And for those living in this reality, safety isn't paranoia, it's planning. Change routes, keep evidence, save messages offline. When things start escalating, move smart. Because the system didn't fail 26 Ceejay for ignoring reports. There weren't any. It failed him by normalizing danger, by letting a culture equate fear with fame, by allowing fire to replace accountability. His case remains unsolved. His story remains unfinished. And the message still burns. When silence becomes normal, justice suffocates. We end where we should have begun, with the man himself. JVN Ross was complex, driven, flawed, determined. He turned hardship into rhythm. He fought to carve his place in a game that too often eats its own. He wasn't a myth. He was a young man trying to make it home. Now his name is another file in a cold case drawer. But every unsolved case has a pulse. It beats in those who remember. What does accountability look like in a culture that profits from conflict? What do labels owe the people they profit from? What do platforms owe when they push the loudest threats the farthest? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you believe stories like this deserve the full light of truth, subscribe and share this video. Every voice helps push back against the silence. This is the Crime Anatomy, where we examine every layer, every fracture, every consequence, until the truth is undeniable. Thank you for watching, and for remembering the man behind the music.